Tottenham are sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League going into the second international break of the year. But can we actually do it? Yes, guys, hello and welcome back to the SpursRelated YouTube channel and podcast. I hope everyone's doing very well today. Today we are talking all things Tottenham Hotspur and being top of the Premier League table in the international break. And I mean, the main talking point of the video is, can we actually say we're title contenders? Could we possibly be up there at the start of the year? Obviously, only a few games into the season, but you know, some Spurs fans naturally are getting carried away with the likes of Man United not being at their best, Chelsea not being at their best, City even not being at their best. Do we have a chance? And guys, today I'm joined alongside Andre all the way from Canada and Wacko Jacko from Wacko Jacko Land. How are we doing, fellas? It's been a while since it's been the three of us. I'm buzzing to be back. We'll start with Andre. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing great. It's quite nice to see the table and see Tottenham right there sitting at the top. But, I'm just going to enjoy while I can because, it's Tottenham. But I'd like to think positively as well.
Yeah, exactly. That is Tottenham. That's a good point at the end there. And Jack, how are you doing, sir? Are you getting carried away yet? Or 8 games in, 20 points? Best ever start of the Premier League season. Last time we were this many points deep in a season after 8 games was 1961, where we won the league, which is the last time we won the league. Any resemblance on that?
Well, Big Ange said, fans, they get carried away. They should have the feeling of getting carried away because we're football fans at the end of the day. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to stick my neck on the line, but you know what? I'm so excited talking all things Tottenham at the minute, James. I can't remember the last time we've sat here, the three of us, and actually believe we can beat any team in the Premier League. It's actually crazy. Being top of the table, going into an international break, it's unbelievable, really. And I can't wait to delve deep into the reason why that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we've got a little 20-minute episode for you guys today. If you are enjoying the Spurs-related content, please smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Over 60% of the people that watch our videos are not even subscribed. So if there's any new subscribers out there that haven't yet subbed to the channel, please do so. It's free to do so. And if you are in a position to do so and can super chat or join the Spurs-relatables on the members option for about $1.99 a month, we would massively appreciate that as well. It helps support the channel. But enough of the promotion and all that, guys, because I know you come to watch the thoughts on, can Tottenham win the league? Can we be in the title race? And I want you guys to comment below your thoughts on this subject as well down below. Let's create a talking point. The VAR one got over 60, 70 comments. Let's smash the likes and the comments this time, guys. But I'm going to move it straight over to the first sort of talking point, which is obviously Spurs-Luton. We did win 1-0 at the weekend after Basuma getting a red card before half-time after 2 stupid yellow cards, by the way. Just quickly, I'll go with Jack. Jack, do you think that was a sign of resilience and togetherness after going down to 10 away from home? Luton aren't exactly a massive pushover, but you could have easily done a Spurs. I think the Spurs of last year would have lost that game or at least drawn it. I think it showed a lot of character with 10 men to lose our key player in Basuma. What do you think on that?
Well, definitely, James. I think the famous saying is we've seen this story before with Tottenham, like lots of times, even under Pochettino, when we were playing our best football, we'd play a team at the lower end of the table and we'd lose. We'd get a red card, and then the lads' heads would drop, and we wouldn't stick together as a unit. And it just felt like against Luton, albeit in my opinion they probably are the weakest team in the Premier League at the minute. They don't really pose enough attacking threat. And I think we really should have been 3 or 4 goals up in the first 20 minutes. I think we absolutely carved them apart. I think if it wasn't for Richarlison's lack of finishing, really, it could have been 3 goals in the first 10 minutes. And I'm glad he's getting in those positions. But when you're paying £60 million for a striker, you hope he's going to take those opportunities. But at the end of the day, we got the job done. That's what I've been saying. And we played some fantastic football. With 10 men, you're always going to concede chances, but it did still feel like we were the stronger team. I think we had 67% possession even after we had the red card. So it proves we're still sticking to our philosophy. We're still dominating the ball. And this Tottenham side is very exciting. And I think a lot of other teams in the Premier League and fans are scared of us.
Yeah, 100%. Just picking up on the point at the end there. Do you think, Andre, that other teams will start to fear Tottenham, considering, I guess we were starting the season a bit under the radar. We were, near the top of the league, but with Man City obviously dropping points, Liverpool dropping a few points recently, the biggest three at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and, other teams sort of slipping up as well. Do you think teams are going to start to fear Tottenham a little bit more now we're top, or do you think our position doesn't reflect how well we've been playing? Because I mean, at the start of I think it was the season before last under Conte, we were actually like top or second, and I said to everyone, we're not lasting that long there. But this feels a little bit different, doesn't it?
No, it does. I do think to an extent we've gotten lucky in a few ways. First off, the big six have gotten injuries that have really sort of moved their squad along, right? Manchester United lost Luke Shaw right at the beginning. Man City's got De Bruyne that's out, who's very important for giving service to Haaland. Liverpool, we had the VAR controversy. It's just been not being lucky, because that's just part of, being part of a season. Things happen. You have to be able to sort of be resilient, as you would say, just like with us with the red card. But I do think part of that has helped us because some of our key players have stayed fit. But I do think that part of it has also been that they didn't think that we would be as intense as we were. Now that we're in first place is where we're going to be really tested, because when these teams come back to face us again, they're going to put out their best squad, their best performances, because they want to get up there on the table and they want to take us down, just like you would for anyone who's in first place. Doesn't matter what team it is. If you're 8 games in, whatever team's at the top, you are putting in the best performance of the season if you can. You would hope it'd be every single time, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%.
It's going to be a tough one.
There's going to be a lot of teams that sort of want to be the first team to beat us. I guess is sort of what you're saying there. 8 games in, we got an international break till the 23rd for 2 weeks. No Ange for 2 weeks is quite sad. But we've then got Fulham at home without Basuma, of course. We've then got Palace away only 4 days later, because the Fulham game's on a Monday, and then the Palace game is on a Friday, I believe, which is, I don't know how the schedules work there, how we're playing on Monday and Friday. And then we've got Chelsea the following week at home. Now, just to quickly clear things up, a few people have been asking us on Instagram. Basuma's yellow card then becomes a red card, of course, because he got 2 reds, so it doesn't count as a yellow. So he's out for 1 game, but if he comes back against Palace in 2 games' time and then gets a yellow, he's then suspended for the Chelsea game as well, which is a nightmare. So my next question, I know it's not quite gone with the start agenda we planned, but Jack, would you maybe rest Basuma against Palace, because potentially if he gets another yellow, he then misses Chelsea?
I don't think you can. I think when you've got a player playing as well as Basuma has been this year, the confidence I think Postecoglou and the teammates around him have given him, you've got to continue. I think Basuma's football is a lot around rhythm, having those nice touches, knowing when he can drop the shoulder, knowing when he can dribble the ball. And I feel like dropping him just because he may get a yellow card isn't worth the risk. I think he's a player that we need in every Premier League game. Chelsea have been poor this year. You could argue Palace have been as good as Chelsea, if not better. And it's a game we need to win, and you need to play your best players. And I think you've got to trust that Basuma has learned from his mistakes, and he knows he's 1 yellow away from missing the Chelsea game. And hopefully he won't make silly mistakes. If he looks like he is, then maybe pull him off at half-time for Højbjerg. But I think, he's got to play. He's been our best player probably this year, James, alongside Maddison.
Perfectly brings us on to the next subject, Jack, which is, of course, James Maddison. How good was that bit of footwork for that goal against Luton, for Van der Ven's goal. The footwork was sublime, the cutback, and he was actually a little bit quiet, I think. Well, not quiet, but he wasn't at his complete best before that, I would personally say. And then that moment of magic, it's a bit like when Messi goes a little bit quiet and then he just does something sublime. I've just compared Maddison to Messi, by the way, on the podcast, but look forward to getting shut down about that one. But, you know, it was that moment of madness, you know, in terms of cutting back, beating the player from the short corner, cutting it back to Van der Ven. Great finish, by the way. How key has Maddison been? Because I've seen people compare Maddison's influence to Harry Kane's in terms of Tottenham, in terms of, you know, really taking the game and carrying Tottenham, if you like. Guys, what would you do? Andre, I'll start with you. What would we do without Maddison right now? Because I think he's our best player, along with, like Jack said, Basuma. But I think if we lost Basuma, I think we wouldn't be as bad. No, we wouldn't be as bad off if we lost Basuma as if we did Maddison. If we lost Maddison, I think the whole complex of the team changes. We don't have a backup number 10. We don't have another creative player that can make assists and create chances. I think James Maddison's created the most chances and had the most shots on goal in the Premier League so far.
Yeah, I think even beyond just Tottenham, those positions like the cam position or the number 9, those are positions that even the backup can't really fill. They can only do so much, right? And I think Tottenham knew what they were doing when they were giving Maddison his number 10 shirt, because he is a number 10, and I guess the role he's played in this team has just been gigantic. He's, I think, 5 of the 8 games for the Premier League, he's done something, whether it's an assist or a goal contributions, I guess. But yeah, and that's a lot of different goals that we would not have gotten if Maddison was not there. So I think he is like the guy you need to protect at all costs, because even a backup won't do it justice if he gets injured. So it is very worrying to see. And it very much, to me, seems like it's the kind of thing where we might need to address it in the winter window.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do think we need a backup for Maddison. Jack, just quickly, what's your thoughts on his influence and, you know, what would we do? You know, would we be losing games without him?
100%. James Maddison's been a revelation since he's joined Spurs, and I think everyone in the Premier League is starting to realise how good he really is. The way he can just unlock a door with one pass is ridiculous. It's given me like flashbacks of when Eriksen was at his best against Spurs. Both can score from long distance, and both can pass the ball with any part of their foot, and they can flip a game on its head. I think Maddison as well, when he's turning in tight spaces, he's done it twice in back-to-back games for Arsenal, against Arsenal, and then against Luton. It just changes the game completely on its head, and I think he really is playing like one of the best players in the Premier League right now, and long may it continue. I would like to see him continuously get on the ball. I think that's when he's at his best, when the tempo is high, when we're looking for those short passes into Maddison. Let him be the one who dictates the play. I think that's when Spurs are really at their best. When Basuma focuses on his job, what he has to do, which is driving with the ball recovery, but letting Maddison really get on that ball, is when I've been really impressed with us. But yeah, Maddison, what a signing. Definitely signing of the summer.
Yeah, 100%. Completely agree. So we talked about some players. We talked about our game against Luton. Big Ange, how much of our success so far is down to Postecoglou, Andre?
Well, I mean, this is his team, right? Not fully 100% his team, but the key players are the players that he's brought in. And to be fair, we lost Kane. A lot of people thought that if he left, we would not be anywhere near where we are now. Even you and I have discussed how Kane leaving, the amount of goal contributions he gives us a season, we were very worried. But here we are, first place, and part of it is just down to Ange knowing the system that he has, knowing the players he needs, and just, being supplied those tools. So by all means, Ange just knows his system is working. So let's keep adding more to that.
It's also just he's such an influential figure in the dressing room. I think everyone witnesses in him. Almost Maddison said it, like he's almost like a fatherly figure, even if it's not Big Ange putting his arm around people and saying, being there, it's just the respect he commands and having belief in each one of these players. I think little things like bringing Ben Davies on at the weekend, using Højbjerg, just kind of giving everyone a role and believing that they can come on and do a job is really powerful. I think he's building a squad which he's happy with. He doesn't mind bringing on Davies for Udogie. He has trust in him. He thinks Højbjerg's a fantastic player, and that's why he straight away didn't mind taking Richarlison off to solidify the middle. It's just his in-game management, but he's also his personal management of giving everyone a role and instilling belief in each one. I think that's really gone under the radar, and that's what we've been missing.
Yeah, exactly that. I think the point I've just put up here, Son Central has been key. I remember the first few games, I thinking we don't look like scoring with Richarlison at number 9, Son up wide, not really beating his man, bit isolated. As soon as we made that change, even Richarlison out wide probably looks a little bit more dangerous. Still not a massive fan of him, but Son up front just looks the real deal, playing off that last man, playing off the shoulder. He looks like he's a real goal threat and, hard to mark in the box. He just knows where to be, playing with Harry Kane for all that, number of years, and just probably, I guess, in a way, learning off each other in that sense. I think Son at number 9 looks phenomenal and should get player of the month, according to some leaks, as well as Ange as manager of the month. But obviously now we move into the international breaks. Hopefully we don't get any injuries, which then links to, of course, our squad depth, which I know we just talked about James Maddison and having no backup for him. I do worry slightly about our squad depth. I'm sure you boys do. And it may be the reason or not the reason or solely the only reason why. But the big question of the video is what we wanted to talk about. Can Spurs win the league? I'm going to start off very quickly and say, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm loving the first 8 games. I think we really have, transitioned into a really attacking team rather than a defensive-minded team. I feel like we're a threat going forward, and we look solid at the back with Romero and Van de Ven. By the way, Van de Ven, although he's got the plaudits of the weekend, I think he's been sublime in pretty much every single game. Looks so solid, looks so quick, looks like he can, catch up if they're, through on goal. He looks like he can really mop up and do a job. And I even knew Doji's been fantastic. Porro's really stepped up as well. I think our back line has looked the best it has, even though we've had the least defensive manager we've had. But although I've just talked about a load of positives, I think it's early days. We've got a result at Arsenal. We've got a result against Liverpool, luckily. But we have scraped a few games, lads, let's be honest. And I'm loving it. I'm going to not get carried away yet because I've been a Spurs fan for too long to understand that, just because you're top after 8 games doesn't mean you're going to win the league. But I certainly feel a lot more confident about top 4 now.
Let's let Jack do the next one.
Sorry, I was waiting for Andre to steal the mic there, but I think I totally agree with all your thoughts. I think it is too early to talk about the title, and I can't believe we're actually talking about Tottenham winning the title 8 games in with a brand new manager who everyone was undermining, including a lot of Tottenham fans when we brought him in. And now we're sitting here top of the league, joint with Arsenal, who have spent over £300 million, I'm pretty sure, in the past 2 windows. You've got a Chelsea side spending £1 billion in 3 windows, who are in complete disarray. And you've got Ange Postecoglou, who has just spent smartly in the window and quietly done his business under the radar. And we're talking about a Tottenham team that, if we get top 4, James and Andre, don't let that fool you. That is an amazing season. No one saw Tottenham in the top 4. But if we carry on like this, I think if we bring in a couple of players who have the quality of like a Maddison, in my opinion, I actually think our defence could end up being stronger than our attack, because I'm worried about the creativity if Maddison gets injured, and maybe a couple more goals if Son starts to get found out, as he predominantly played on the left before. But I think we just need to carry on being excited, enjoy the journey, ride the crest of this wave currently. But I think if we really invested in a couple attacking wingers, someone like the class of Matoma would be amazing. But we're going to wait and see. I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to seeing Brennan Johnson more in a Spurs shirt. And let's see how far we can take it. We've got to believe. We've got to enjoy it. And yeah, you never know. Can we? Will we? I'm not sure.
Can we, will we, is the question, guys. Let us know in the comments below. But I'm going to get Andre's thoughts as well on this. But whack in the comments. Are Tottenham in the title race? Are we getting a bit ahead of ourselves? Or, is top 4 realistic? Are you guys not even thinking we can get top 4? Who knows? I'm sort of in the middle. I think we're really in the top 4 race now. And you know what? if we somehow stay unbeaten for a few more games, maybe I'll start getting a little bit more excited. But until that point, I think top of the Premier League, joint with Arsenal, considering we should have got a draw against Liverpool, I think it's a little bit, what's the word? Like, it's not completely reflective of how we've been. I think we've been fantastic, but I don't think we've been title sort of challenger worthy. But, Man City are slipping up with injuries, but I think when De Bruyne and Rodri come back for them, they're going to storm it. That's what I truly believe. And I think, City have won the league 5 times out of the last 6. So, all you have to do is look at the history to see what Pep Guardiola does there with all that money and all that squad depth. But Andre, what's your thoughts on this one?
So I'm going to be positive for once and say that for now, I feel like we could. And I say for now with a big star because it all depends on what happened. Personally, I think it all depends on what happens in January. I think if we go into that window with the same mindset that we did in the summer, we could actually be title contenders. I think if we go into that window and we get one player, it's not going to happen. I think it's very dependent on that because we need a lot of squad depth. I think that there are a lot of players that haven't even seen the pitch except maybe just one game. Like Lo Celso. Yeah. What's he been up to? I have no idea.
He's been injured.
He's been injured? Yeah. I thought he played one game and he didn't play very well.
You got Brian Hill coming back into the mix, but we do have a few injuries as well. Obviously, Bentancur is hopefully coming back within the next month or so. You've now got Basuma suspended, potentially going to get a double suspension if he comes back and gets another yellow. So I think our squad depth will be tested then. And then you question mark, how good is that squad depth? I mean, Brian Hill, I'm actually a fan of, but can he step up like a Kulusevski can step up at times? We've got, like Lo Celso. Can Lo Celso play as well as Maddison's been playing at number 10? I'd question that as well. Can Valise come in when Son is, potentially injured? All these different factors. Van de Ven or Romero gets injured. You're looking at who are you looking at on the bench? You're starting to then look back and think, yeah, it's the same old faces that could come in here, a Davies or an Eric Dyer. So you have to question the squad depth on this side, and we haven't got to that stage yet, luckily. But I think there's unfortunately, it's just how it goes. Look at the top teams, Man City, Rodri and De Bruyne are injured, 2 key players. Suddenly they look flat. They look like they haven't got any creativity and they look spineless in midfield. If you suddenly lost a Basuma and a Maddison in our team, would we look like we have no spine in midfield? Would we look like we have less creativity? Absolutely. And that's where the question marks will be asked of this Tottenham team, for me anyway. But, guys, I'm going to let you guys debate it in the comments below. You lovely Spurs-related balls. Thank you so much for all your support recently on the videos. Please smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we will see you very, very soon. As always, remember, COYS Spurs! We're going to win the league. Do you know what? We're going to win it.